I think the Pagani Zonda is one of the most underrated and exclusive supercars that has ever been created. I don't think it gets talked about enough of, and I don't think its brilliance gets recognised enough. This was a car that was released in 1999 and looks, of the level of the Lambos that came out in late 2008. It looked like a spaceship on wheels, and to be honest, that's what supercars are supposed to do. And at the time, it was a ridiculously luxurious interior. It's pretty dated now, but you can still see why someone would have that opinion when you look at the competition that was around in 1999. If you look at a 2000s Mercedes SL, for example, the interior to that compared to a Pagani Zonda is ridiculous. You would have sat in that and thought it looks like a fighter jet, but a fighter jet who's sat in luxury. It's a weird mix, but I think it works so well. And you can actually see it in the Huayra, if that's how you bloody say it. You can see it's sort of a modern version of the same sort of materials and the same sort of intention. I think it's dead cool. It's probably a bit tacky, but if you're spending at the time 500k on a car, that's the kind of thing that you want. And it's a Zonda, for God's sake. It's some nutcase of a car. You're not exactly going practical, are you? By the time the Zonda F came out in 2005, its competitors were like a Porsche Carrera GT, a Ferrari Enzo, a Lambo Murciélago, and eventually Mercedes McLaren SLR. But you look at all of them and you think, out of the actual V12s, it's only got the Enzo and it's only got the Murciélago to really compete with, and you just sort of look at that and go, but this is truly special. I do believe that the Lambo Murciélago is a particularly special Lambo, and I do hold that one in high regard. But if you got the choice of these two, a Pagani Zonda just seems more special, especially for the situation around it, and sort of if you contextualise the whole use of a Mercedes AMG V12 engine, and sort of, I don't know, it has comparisons to that of a McLaren F1 using a BMW V12. I just think it is so special of a car. I think it probably needs a bit of comparison to when you were in the 2000s, the decision you were making in 2005. I think most people, if they had the choice out of those, would go Ferrari Enzo. But now you look at them and think, if you contextualise the importance of them and the meaning of them, a Zonda is so amazing. To be honest, when it used to be featured on Top Gear as a kid, I didn't really understand Hammond's obsession over it, but I have some sympathy, I have a lot of sympathy towards it now. I do think it's a special and an exclusive car to own. I love the fact that Hamilton has one, and I don't know whether that's his ties with AMG, but I love the fact that Hamilton has one because it, at that level of wealth, it does show the exclusivity of it. I think it's brilliant. The fact it looks like a spaceship, the Murciélago looks brilliant, but this just is out there. It looks how, if you ask a kid to draw a supercar, that's the kind of thing they'd do, is a Pagani Zonda. And even something as simple as the quad exhaust in the circle at the back of the car. Why was that never ever done before? That is the kind of thing that you pay supercar money for, when you have that nutty thing on the back. The Zonda C12S in the early 2000s with a top speed of 208 miles per hour, where it's only got 540 horsepower to it. Its engine's been tuned by AMG, and it can do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. That, in the early 2000s, with the way it looks, and you could buy one of these for 500k. If you're looking at getting an Enzo, it's quite a saving, and I just think, equal to the amount of car. Yeah, it's not got the pedigree of the Ferrari, but I just think supercar money, if you're buying a supercar at that time, look at this. This is amazing. I think to own one, it must be similar to a Koenigsegg, where it's, it's his own exclusive club, because there's so little of them out there, and I would absolutely love to see one. And I think, people just need to, for the fact that it's a small brand, smaller brand, it's no less luxurious than that of any other. I just think it needs some talking about. People need to bring it up more. And obviously the Huayra is a beautiful thing. It's a wacky thing, but it's a beautiful thing. And the Zonda just needs contextualising a bit more in what it was and what it meant when it came out in the time that it did, and all the variations of it. But I drive a bloody white Fiesta, so why should you take my opinion into consideration when you're talking about the importance of supercars? I don't know, why are you even watching this?